Bedtime Princess Story. Snow White. Once upon a time, a princess named Snow White lived with her jealous stepmother, the queen. The queen's magic mirror always said, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Afraid of the queen, Snow White found a little cottage in the forest where 7 dwarfs lived. They cared for her dearly and kept her safe. But one day, the queen tricked her with a poisoned apple, and Snow White fell into a deep sleep. A kind prince came and gently kissed her, breaking the spell. She awoke joyful and safe and soon married her prince. The 7 dwarfs were her friends forever, and they all lived happily ever after. Sleeping Beauty. A princess was blessed by fairies at birth, but one jealous fairy cast a spell. On her 16th birthday, she would prick her finger and fall into a deep sleep. The kind fairy softened the spell. She would sleep until love's kiss awakened her. When the curse came true, the castle slept under a blanket of thorns. Many years later, a prince braved the thorns, found the princess, and kissed her gently. She awoke smiling, and so did the castle. They married with joy, and happiness filled the land forevermore. Cinderella was a kind girl who lived with her stepmother and stepsisters, who treated her cruelly. One night, her fairy godmother appeared and gave her a gown, glass slippers, and a carriage to go to the royal ball. At the ball, the prince danced only with her, but at midnight she had to leave. In her haste, she left behind a glass slipper. The prince searched the kingdom, and at last, the slipper fit Cinderella perfectly. He knew she was the one. They married in joy, and Cinderella's days of sadness were over. She and the prince lived happily ever after. The Little Mermaid. Deep under the sea, the little mermaid dreamed of life above. One day, she saved a prince from a storm and loved him ever after. She traded her voice for legs so she could live on land. Though she could not sing, her kind heart spoke louder than words. The prince grew to love her and discovered she was the one who had saved him. They married in a beautiful seaside celebration with lanterns, laughter, and joy. The Little Mermaid's dream came true, and she lived happily ever after on land, still loving the sea.